Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Christie. I'm sitting in a very cloudy and overcast St Leonard's part of Sydney. I have one of these terrible Australian accents, but hopefully I'm coming through okay. I'm also sitting here with our marketing team. Anne, can you quickly say hello?
Good morning, everyone.
So thanks for all joining us. Just a couple of side notes before we get into it. Just some technical recommendations. We'll mute everyone for the purpose of the presentation. Can you also please close all your other applications you may have running on your system, as this could interfere with the presentation. At the end of this, we'll do a Q&A session, but can we please use the chat functionality to go down that pathway with any questions. And for the length of the period, we're looking at 30 minutes, but if we can get it done slightly quicker than that, that would be a great result for all of us. So without any more ado, we might move on. So quick agenda. We'll introduce Fronde, obviously, and who we are. We'll talk exactly what cloud computing is. Obviously, there's a lot of interest in the area at the moment, and one of the purposes of running today's presentation. And we'll also look at cloud business management systems, and obviously how that relates back to science-related businesses like yourselves. And as I mentioned, a bit of Q&A at the end there. So what is Fronde? Fronde is business cloud design and integration. And I'd just like to turn your attention to the design aspect of it at the moment. What we will do at Fronde is look at your current business, coming as a consulting perspective, and look and see if we can give you some innovative ways of doing business in a different way using cloud technology. We also then look at integration. Sometimes that scares people, but what we will try and do is sometimes legacy IT systems, we'll look at integrating into those systems because obviously business transformation can be done in different phases, and we'll look at doing that at a solution that works best for your organisation. The plus side of things with Fronde, obviously we've got an amazing portfolio of clients that we work with, from Amazon Web Services through to Google. Adaptive Insights, which probably less known out of that suite for budgeting, forecasting, and consolidation. Salesforce for CRM, and obviously Netsuite for ERP. So what exactly is cloud computing? So cloud computing is the next stage in the internet's evolution. It's basically, if you look at that diagram, the ability of taking your database, using all your different devices, even your kitchen sinks, and taking it to the cloud. And the area that I like to focus on within cloud computing and its attributes is that number one point down there where it says elasticity and the ability to scale up and down. A really powerful business tool to change the way, and obviously you can look at paying things as you go, and obviously that scalability and agility of doing business in 2014. So how has business traditionally brought IT? If you look at this diagram or flowchart, you can look at hardware across the servers to databases. There's licenses. You've got to maintain that. I was in a meeting the other day with an organisation that just spends $13,000 just to maintain their current systems. There's a dreaded word patch. Then you've got to replace and upgrade, migrate. So that's a traditional way of doing things. And then that problem is exacerbated as you roll out to multi-countries or in multi-subsidiaries, for example, and you've got to do it again. And obviously the speed that you roll these solutions out is hindered by IT legacy issues. So with cloud and the way you purchase the solution, it's very different. If you look at the application box for me for 5 seconds, it's a subscription application. Basically, it can be done for year on year, or even now we're looking at doing things where we can lock prices in over 3 years for you to maintain your current systems. So cloud can help you manage across all your different business applications, and look at Google Apps, your mail, your calendars, your docs. For NetSuite, ERP, your e-commerce, your CRM, your payroll, your timesheets. Adaptive Insights for your budgeting and forecasting, your analysis. and consolidation. And look, applying that to, let's say, looking at it, we get a lead through an email, NetSuite, you can take that through to a sales order. So it's very simple. It's all within one system and allows you to use any devices to the way you engage with these customers. So what does it mean for businesses? Well, basically it means that you can reduce your infrastructure. Google's a great example with that. Your availability increases, maintainability increases, and the best thing, one of the areas that's really popular at the moment is access from anywhere on any device for all your employees. You can, like I said earlier, you can deploy the solution quickly. You can manage it yourself, and then what we do at Fronde here is actually we try and train you guys to become the experts, so you're not always coming back to us with consulting hours, and obviously outsourcing and lower expertise of costs, and obviously the ability to work from home. So cloud-based management systems. So I'll just hand this over to Anne, and we'll go from there.
Good morning, everyone. One of the purposes of today was to look at cloud and the benefits of cloud and how does it actually relate to science-related businesses. So for the purpose of this, we've actually had a good look at a recent survey from PwC. In fact, it was just conducted with many CEOs in Australia beginning of this year. And 4 items really came out of this survey that seem to be top of mind for science-related businesses right now. First of all, it was that technological advances in any shape or form have to absolutely help drive business transformation. So there's a responsibility on technology to actually assist business transformation. Secondly, innovation is obviously the core for any science-related business, and it has to be a top priority. And I think we all agree that sometimes what is key in your business sometimes comes last because of all the support processes you have around that key business item. Thirdly, supply chain integrity. Integrity compliance is always a big concern for science-related businesses, and it continues to do so, of course, in 2014. So we're going to look into how that can be addressed through technology in a second. And then number 4, I'm sure, is the same for any business in Australia and worldwide, is the talent challenge. So expectations of the workforce today have changed. They are going to change going forward. How can that be addressed through cloud technology? So what we're going to do now is to actually look at these 4 items or challenges, if you want to say so, and give you a couple of examples how cloud technology and particular products in our portfolio of partners can assist you with addressing those. So I'll hand back to Andrew to run through these 4 issues and what we can do about them.
So technical advances need to drive business transformation. Cloud-based management systems can exist in the following areas: from accounting, distribution, e-commerce, and collaboration. And if I look at that bottom icon there with NetSuite, that is the NetSuite story. The multi-office, multi-stakeholder environments, anytime, anywhere. And again, we come back to reducing your capital expenditure, moving that to operational expenditure, and obviously being flexible and quick. Innovation has to be a top priority. 80% of IT budget spent is spent keeping the lights on. 20% is spent on innovation. Now, what we try to do at Fronde and the solutions we work with is to move that percentages around a bit and maybe make that 50% or 60% of your IT budget keeping the lights on, and maybe that 40 or 50% on innovation. Again, that will streamline your back office support processes in accounting, collaboration, working across your different departments, your real-time data availability, and obviously you're all looking at the same data at the same time. Your dashboards may be different, but it's obviously in real time. And obviously then again from reporting, analysis, and forecasting. Supply chain integrity is a big issue, as Anne quite rightly pointed out just before. And this really reflects nicely with the science industry. You look at management and referencing of batches and lots. Does that reflect your business? Tracking of serial numbers and barcodes, I know that does in the science industry, and quite really important. Referencing back into all supply chain, accounting and sales systems for one version of the truth. Individual case management and in-live service and fault analysis. Again, NetSuite, we've highlighted here. And in fact, in my time with Fronde, the amount of times this has come up as a a real strength of NetSuite. And if anyone wants more information in this area, I'll be happy to have that conversation. And then obviously facing a talent challenge. One of the areas of business, for example, that many organisations and also in the science industry are looking at doing is how do we attract people to our organisation? And one of the areas of what we're trying to do is return to work for mothers. So the ability for mothers who can work from home becomes a relevant conversation. So cloud-based solutions can deliver that solution to your organisation. Again, they can work from home, email access anytime, anywhere, that device independency, document collaboration and storage. And again, here at Fronde, we use all these solutions and we work in the same manner. That real-time collaboration via video call and document creation, sharing uses and storage from, again, anywhere, anytime.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I think this is a great slide to talk to, especially in regard to science companies, where we said innovation is key. And I think all of these 4 issues we talked about come together on this slide. So we're looking at applications like Google Apps, like NetSuite, like adaptive planning and sales will really become enabler for innovation, which is key for your business. So we're just going to move on to questions and answers. And if you have a look at your panel, there's a little question panel to your right. And if you have any questions on what we've just presented in regard to some of the key issues we pointed out, the products we spoke about, cloud computing in general, just type that in there.
Yep, I'm just getting the first question coming through now. The question's coming through, how do I find out more information on NetSuite? Look, I can get in contact with you at the end of this message. My email is andrew.christie@fronde.com. If anyone wants to have a further conversation. Okay, next question coming through on Google. On Google Apps here. Yes, again, we're an enterprise partner for Google, just so you know. Again, we could bring someone in from Google into your office to speak about how that could work for your business. So that's, again, another way of doing things with that.
Just having a look what else is coming through. We understand that that was a lot of information in one go. So if you have questions later, we can take that offline as well. There's a question from Stephen. Does storing data in the cloud affect patentability? That's actually to do with what's asked for in regard to compliance by country. So we'll probably need to take that questions offline. But one item I think Andrew pointed out on the compliance and supply chain page was that NetSuite as a system is actually TGA okayed, if you want to say so. So that system actually enhances your process. So let us come back to you on the special patent question.
And we have a document that we can send through on that particular issue as well. Okay, I've got another question coming in.
I think we just answered that one.
Yeah.
There's a question on security managed in cloud computing, and that's one of the questions that always comes up. That's a very broad question. So in general, I think cloud is more safe than ever. When we started working with Fronde here, one example that always came up was to say that your warehouse, your offices can burn down, someone can break in and take your data off your server. When you have put things in the cloud, they're actually much safer there. So security is a very broad question again. So happy to talk about this more. It really needs to be looked at case by case. But I think a great example of how far we've come is that governments now move their data, the information systems to the cloud.
And the banks are now using AWS for their data. So if the banks are doing it, it's usually a good indication.
Great. Well, we also would like to share with you a case study. There's a case study in regard to a science business that has recently taken their cloud-based business management system to the cloud. If you'd like to have a look at that, send Andrew an email and we'll get that to you.
We've just got another quick question just come in here at the bottom of there. Just a look at it. So the questions come in: is it still necessary to have a file so the office to correct a land to the internet? It depends. The answer is no to that question, but again, it's a tougher area. We need to know what your future direction is, but the answer, generally speaking, is no.
Great. Well, I'm sure there are still many more questions. I'll let Andrew finish off with his contact details and what could happen from here.
Yes. So, look, I mentioned before my email address is andrew.christie, and I'll spell Christie, Christie, at fronde.com. If you would like to have any further conversations, please drop me an email. Also, I'd like to drive you back to our website, which is mentioned there, fronde.com.au. It's got some great case studies on some of the clients we've worked with. And you'll get a bit more understanding about our company. But like we understand that time is precious to us all. I really appreciate